Hi guys, so we're going to go through a Parallax background demo which I've been creating. So the first thing we're going to want to do is to import some textures, and I got these textures as a free pack from this website here. I think it's on itch.io and it's Creative Commons license. You're free to use it for anything. So first thing I'm going to do is grab my textures. I'm going to drop them into the textures folder, and we can get rid of that folder. From there, select all of your textures. Make sure that you change, if you're using pixel art, the filter mode to no point filter. And the wrap mode needs to be repeat, otherwise it will not repeat. Make sure to save the assets once you've clicked off. And here are our assets. Next up, we're going to go into my shaders folder and I'm going to create shader graph, URP, and unlit shader graph. I'm going to call this Parallax shader. Make sure you have everything named appropriately. When this opens up, now I'm going to full screen it so I can have a look at everything. So, this isn't as daunting as it might seem. We can do a lot of things in it. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my textures and drop them in. And from there, they will have a correct order. So make sure you order them appropriately. Order them like this. And now what we're going to do is we're going to layer these up, lerp them out layer by layer. So I'm going to create a node called lerp. I'm going to copy this 2 times over. Again, I'm going to keep my graphs tidy as I can. And I'll set this part up first, and then we'll do the math behind the scrolling of the backgrounds. So basically the lerp node works by, this is the back texture, and then I'm going to lerp using the alpha of the next texture to cut out other parts. So I'm going to put this into A, I'm going to go down to this one and pop that into B. Then I'm going to use this alpha texture here and plug that into the alpha channel. And straight away you can see we've got light streams on top of that one. From here, I'm going to lerp this texture into the next one. So it's just going to go down a series. And you could use node redirectors if you like, or not. Just going to link it on mine like that. And then I'm going to take the next texture, lerp between that, and use the next texture's alpha into there. And we've got a third layer on top now. And again, from there, I'm just going to layer in that one and use its alpha. And we've got the final layer. And we take that final lerp and plug it into the base color. And so that, as it stands, is a static layered texture. But of course, we want to move certain layers at different speeds. So I'm going to create a new node, tiling and offset. I'm going to take the out of that pin and plug it into the UV. And I'll do one, and then you can copy it to every single one. From there, all we're going to want to do, unless you want to repeat the texture multiple times over, is take the offset pin and type in vector 2. So I'm going to have 2 vectors going into this. So again, I'm going to keep these things as small and as clear as I can. I can also click on that to make it smaller. Makes it easier to work with unless I want to see the result. So for these lerps, I might want to see the results. I'll keep them open. And for the base textures as well. From the vector 2, I'm going to probably want this to scroll on the Y. So I'm going to pull out from there, and I'm going to create a multiply node. So I'm doing this backwards. but I'll talk you through it forwards afterwards. And then from the multiply node, I'm going to make this work over time. And so I'm going to click on that. And ultimately, you can see this straight away is scrolling. And what we can do is we can change this value here. And now it's scrolling really, really slowly. So maybe let's have that as 0.05. Probably a bit too quick. 0.02. Okay. So we're just going to copy these things now and paste them down. And you can see that they're automatically connected in. I'm going to do this for each of the layers. And all I need to do is to adjust the multiply values to change the speed at which it scrolls. So let's say 0.5 for that one, 0.75 for the next one, and 1 for the last one. Straight away you can see we've got a scrolling parallax background. And I'll apply this to a material in the viewport so you can see. What we might want to do though, if you have got the player and you want to follow the player instead. So if you type camera and then off this type split, what we should be able to do from there is take the X value, which will be R in this one, and plug that into the multiply instead. And that will follow the camera around on its X position. And you might want to adjust the X values in that. But for this demo, I'm just showing you how to set up parallax scrolling. From there, click Save Asset. And then we can close the shader graph. So next up, I'm going to create a material. I'm going to call this Parallax BG _ matte. So there's our material. In this, we're going to want to find the parallax material we just created, shader. And that's our parallax shader there. And just to show it in action in the scene, we're going to add a square sprite. And we're going to scale this up. So it's about covering the viewport. Now these textures are not square. So actually, we want it that I think they are 16 by 9. So this will be a nice thing there. In the sprite renderer, we can simply drag and drop the material. And you can see it's scrolling already. If I click play, it should scroll quite smoothly for us. And there you have it, a scrolling parallax background. Nice and easy. Thank you.